It's finished at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2. Which means we're still on -1 goal difference. And that we're now 11 points, including the goal difference, away from Spurs and Villa, respectively. Even though Spurs did get a tonking today, their goal difference is still in double digits. And if the far top Reds think, in their tiny microscopic minds, that top 4 is still on the cards, I've got some magic beans to sell you. You're very naive and gullible if you think that we're going to get top 4, because top 5 is gone now because of the UEFA coefficient. Germany have got the spot as it stands. Having said all that, we are level with Newcastle, but Newcastle are above us for now. You will not finish above us, Newcastle. I get really irritated, when Newcastle win. I get gaslighted. It really pisses me off. Oh yeah, just one other thing regarding Newcastle. Make sure, if you go to any stadium, make sure, worth noting this in your diaries or in your memory banks, make sure you haven't got a kid's ticket. Okay? Make sure it's an adult ticket and not a kid's ticket. And you're probably going, what's that got to do with this video? Newcastle. Look it up. Anyway, careful. Kid's ticket. Imagine that. Going to St James's Park, you got a fucking kid's ticket. Weird. Very weird. But onto the game itself. We've got Sheffield United and Burnley, so we should get 6 points there. Bruno bailed us out on the mire. I thought the referee was nothing short of a disgrace, by the way. Bournemouth weren't just playing against the opposition, they were playing against the referee. The referee was our 12th man. I mean, he's the same guy, by the way, that disallowed the Wolves goal late on against West Ham. Where do they get these referees from? They need to be held to account. There needs to be a panorama investigation. These referees are corrupt to the core. The best referees are the referees you don't notice during the game. That was never a penalty for us, for 2-2. If you're unsure, you look at the monitor. You know what I mean? So Bournemouth were robbed of extra points today. We have the worst set of referees known to man in Premier League history, hands down, without question. Week in, week out, I keep sitting here wondering when these referees are going to get better. They're not going to get better. They're getting absolutely worse. And even though semi-alternated offsides are going to be in situ next season, the referees will still make the mistakes because they want to be a star. That's what they want to be. Yeah? So me with these referees. They want to be a centre of attention, a centre of everything. They shouldn't be. And what was the referee doing? When one of the Bournemouth players was on the ground, he was drinking fucking water. What's that fucking all about? And it looked like he drank water from the coaching staff's bag to help the player recover and to get back on his feet. What the hell is that bloody all about? Referees are ruining the game, and VAR is also ruining the game. Scrap it all together. I get really frustrated with it. And it needs to be scrapped. But it's all about money, isn't it? All about fucking money. Yeah? It's all about the money, honey. All about that. Because money follows money. So that annoyed me by the referee. He needed to sort himself out. No communication. He had to go down the tunnel for about a minute. I mean, who trains these referees up? It's an absolute joke. It really is. And it's got worse, the officiating, ever since Howard Webb took control. What the fuck's he doing? Just dreadful. It really was. Bruno bailing us out. I thought Rashford was nothing short of a disgrace. I've been on record saying I would sell Rashford. I wouldn't have given him that juicy, lucrative contract. I was the only Man United fan saying that. And I was the only Man United fan saying, bring me Radcliffe. I didn't want the Saudis. Right? And I've got a message for Newcastle United. Let us have fucking Ashworth. Stop playing silly beggars and fobbing us off, right? We can move on and you can move on. So just cut down the price for Ashworth, right? We are a big club, you're a small club. You don't need him anymore because you're going to find somebody else. So come on, help us out. Stop being stubborn as a mule and let us have Ashworth. You know it makes sense. So do the honourable thing and let him out. You've got him held hostage, which is kind of ironic, knowing who you're owned by. Anyway, you know, so I thought Garnacho was a disgrace as well. He lost the ball countless times. You know, he led to the goal for Bournemouth, the opening goal, I think it was. Worth noting the centre-back. I thought he was very good last week, and he's had another good game again, I have to say. It wasn't a perfect performance, it wasn't as good as last week, but it was okay. You know, is he going to be a Man United stalwart? Is he going to be here for the next 10 years? I'm not so sure. He needs to be developed in the right way. He's done well so far, but can he keep it up? And that's what he needs to focus on now. And I would also say he's got to raise his shoulders a little bit more. Right? He's got to learn to perform better. If he can do that at the age he is, then he'll go places. But at this moment in time, he needs to work on his game. But what I'm seeing so far, I'm liking. So keep it up. Good for him. So I'll be back after the Coventry game. I think we'll beat Coventry. We're not going to lose against them. You know, I know that Coventry have been at Wembley before last season. In actual fact, where they faced Luton and they lost. I think it was 1-0 they lost. So I don't think it'll be a tough game, but we have to give them a little bit of respect. But in terms of today's match, I'm not happy with VAR, as I've never been a fan of it. And I would scrap it if I had my way. If I was advising the Premier League, I would scrap it. But what can you do? But anyway, I'll see you after the Coventry game on Sunday night after the game.